race theory. I mean, we've talked about it for months and months, and it's going on all across the country. We know it's going on in North Carolina, but I wanted to bring this up, the issue of foreign funding. So here in North Carolina, Chapel Hill and Carrboro School District, there was a company called Panorama, and it still is, Panorama Surveys. It's used all across the state. In fact, it's a big state initiative with the DPI. Panorama surveys are being used to, among other things, assess attitudes and beliefs of children all across the state to use and to kind of data mine for the SEL programs. Well, anyway, I'm putting this story up right now. If you haven't read this story, read it, share it. You've got to do it, or go to edfirstnc.org. edfirstnc.org. I'm going to get that up. So there is a nonprofit called the Oak Foundation. The Oak Foundation. It's based in the Channel Islands, but the people who run it, actually, they make their money in China. And so they gave about $4 million to a school district here in North Carolina to fund, among other things, the survey, the Panorama surveys, to be done on students, and also how to interpolate that data and extrapolate that data. So we have a third party coming in here and collecting data, and a lot of times the parents don't even know. Very, very important story. Go to edfirstnc.org, click news, and go to the story. But it's Oak Foundation, and they are funding not only the Panorama surveys, but critical race theory in general. There are a couple of policies here in North Carolina that changed right after Oak Foundation gave funding to the school board. This is in 2020, right before the elections, giving money to the school board. And a guy on the state school board by the name of James Ford, he is a radical racist that has really been pushing critical race theory in the state. So research this in your own states. I know that Oak Foundation has a lot to do with policies in Virginia, et cetera. But what we suspect here is that politicians and former politicians, actually in our case, have been getting this money and pushing this horrible crap that everybody knows is damaging to children, has nothing to do with education, and is probably well outside the law. So do read this. Do visit our website. Again, it's Oak Foundation, and they're paying for kind of a lion's share of the surveys done here in North Carolina. And it may be the same for